2 weeks worth of new comic book day hauls, auction wins, and new shop buys up next on Dave in the Cave. Hey everybody, it's your boy Dave in the Cave back once again with a new comic book day haul video. Also have some auction wins that have recently come into the cave, and actually checked out a new shop here in New Jersey last weekend, or maybe even during the week. I'm not really too sure, but lots of stuff to show off. I have 16 books from 2 weeks worth of new comic book days. And again, a slew of auction wins and recent buys. So, definitely looking forward to showing all of this off for you guys. So, let me give you the breakdown this way. You have a better idea of, some of the stuff that you're going to see. So I have one indie book. I have 11 Marvel books, as well as 4 DC books. So one of those books will be the cover art of the week. I'm really excited to, ultimately jump into it with you guys and, really go from there. So let's do exactly that. So I'm actually going to start with the indie book. You usually don't see these types of books from me, on the channel. I am a big Zenescope guy. A lot of the artists that I follow, a lot of the artists that I love, do covers for them, interior art, really, you can name it. But one of my favorites is Elias Chatoudas. Is literally bar none top 2 favorite Zenescope artists that I consistently pick up covers on. So this one is actually a special cover. It's actually mystery number 2. And the unique thing about this one is it's actually a gatefold cover. So it actually has 4 other covers. I'll definitely throw up a graphic for, a couple of them, but you can kind of get the gist of where this is going. Elias certainly knows how to draw a woman, put it that way. But really stoked to have it. I'm always excited to add, his art into, my PC. So, all right, guys, there's the indie book. Let's jump into, the biggest stack as far as, as Marvel is concerned. So, kicking things off, so you have an Amazing Spider-Man number 30. This is actually a second printing, so super stoked to have this. Again, keeping that completionist vibe going. No surprises there. Also up next, Amazing Spider-Man number 31. This is also a second printing, so again, stoked to have it. And then, guys, the next 3 books are all Amazing Spider-Man number 34s. So here you have the 2099 variant. This is pretty dope. Has a Tron feel to it, which I'm, of course, digging. Here is your regular cover, so your cover A, Amazing Spider-Man number 34. And then the last and final Amazing Spider-Man 34. These are actually connecting covers. Art Adams is doing these. It's actually going to be 8 different covers that are actually going to connect. So super stoked to ultimately grab and collect all these. So there's that. Absolute Carnage number 5. Super excited to see how this story ultimately wraps up. Again, I've been trying to stay away from the spoilers, so definitely excited to really jump into that. Up next, guys, we have Spider-Verse number 2. Interested to see where this goes. And then up next, it's actually 2 of the same book, so it's Ghost Spider number 4. So you have your cover A, and then you also have the 2099 variant that is done by Bengal. So again, this has that Tron feel, which I'm digging. A lot of these 2099 variants have been really good. So Ultimately excited to really have it. Last two Marvel books, guys. I swear, guys, I'll learn how to speak. I don't know what my problem is tonight, but anyway. Up next is Invisible Woman #5. This actually closes out the series. Again, Adam Hughes on cover art. This should be an interesting read nonetheless. And then not a usual book that I would pick up. It's actually Scream Curse of Carnage #1. This is actually the Archer variant, so I am super stoked to ultimately add this into the collection. And there you go, guys. There are all of my Marvel pulls for this particular week. Actually, 2 weeks, excuse me. Up next, guys, is DC. So you're going to see 4 DC books here, one of which is actually the cover art of the week. So let's just jump right into it. Batman 83, City of Bane, Dark Knight Rising. Iconic cover. You can kind of see it's a cover swipe of, Batman breaking Bane's back, certainly flipping the script on him. So definitely excited to see, where the story goes with that. Justice League #36. This should be a relatively pretty good read. Definitely excited to jump into it. And then I also have Action Comics 1017. This is actually the cardstock variant. This is done by Lucio Perillo. Perillo's been absolutely murdering it right now, so really excited to ultimately add this one into the collection. So there you have it, guys. There's the 3 out of the 4 DC books. Definitely let's segue into the cover art of the week. So be back in a second. And we're back. Thanks, guys. So cover art of the week. Granted, I had 2 weeks worth of books to really pick from. I was actually able to narrow it down to one particular book, and for me, this was a pretty easy choice. Again, it's actually going to be a Justice League Dark #17, and this was actually done by Clayton Crane. This is absolutely beautiful. Again, Clayton never, really disappoints with his artwork, and certainly this is absolutely no different. So super stoked to have it. Really excited to jump into the story and ultimately see where it goes. All right, guys. So that wraps up the new comic book day portion of the show. So let's talk about recent buys. Over the past 2 weeks, I've had a lot of stuff come in, whether it's me going to different shops or just having things come in from some of the different sites that I buy from, or even some of the Instagram and YouTube auctions that I do tend to participate in from time to time. So this stack is really a lot of that. Certainly I'll talk about where these particular books came from, and we'll go from there. So let's see here. So let's do this first. So recently, again, I was looking for a new shop just to check out. That wasn't necessarily super far from my house, and went into Google, typed comic shops near me, and just went exploring. So came across JC's Comics in South Plainfield, New Jersey. Really, really great shop. They had a lot of back issues. They had a lot of the newer releases. A complete whole wall. And my lord, did he have an entire wall of action figures, statues, you name it. I mean, we're not talking like DC collectible statues, which I love, by the way, guys, don't get me wrong, but I mean, he had sideshow pieces. He had 2 Wonder Womans, he had a big Magneto statue. So definitely had a lot of great stuff to look at. So naturally, me, again, trying to complete the Spider-Man run. was really looking to dig in them long boxes, as our lords of the long box say. So was able to find some issues that I was missing in the first and second volumes, which is always a good thing. So let me just show them off. So we'll start first. The first two are actually in succession. So I have 196 and 197 for Amazing Spider-Man. And the great thing about these is these are actually the Whitman, I guess you'd call them a variant. As you can see on the barcode, it's blocked out. So both this one and 197, have the same thing. So really excited to ultimately add these particular books into the collection. Up next, guys, is Amazing Spider-Man number 583. This is actually the 5th printing of this book. Has Barack Obama on the cover. I can't believe this book went to 5 printings. It's crazy to me. And the funny thing about it is I'm actually missing the only one that I'm missing is actually the second printing of this book, because I have the first printing. It's not with him on the cover. So I am excited to have that. Also have an Amazing Spider-Man number 600. This is actually the second printing of this particular book. So, again, knocking those second, third, fourth, fifth printings off. Really excited to ultimately add those into the collection. Also have an Amazing Spider-Man number 640. This is actually just a variant cover. Love this cover. Really, really cool. You can kind of see the price I paid for it. So really excited to ultimately have it into the collection. Up next, guys, I have Amazing Spider-Man 667. This is actually, Spider Island Part 1. The funny thing about this is, I have, pretty all the variant covers, but actually didn't have cover A. So, happy to have it. Humberto Ramos on art on this one. Really stoked to have it. And then up next, guys, I have Amazing Spider-Man 700.1. Again, one of those situations where I had cover B, did not have cover A, and, ultimately excited to add it into the collection. So, and then my last pickup, guys, from JC's Comics, this was actually an Amazing Spider-Man 612. This was actually, I think it was a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 25 variant. This one was done by Ed McGuinness, so super, super excited to ultimately add that into the collection. So there you have it, guys. Really, really excited to, again, chip away at those books in the Spidey run that I am missing. So up next, guys, let's talk about some books that, I've gotten through Instagram buys, YouTube auctions, whatever the case may be. So I actually talked about this first book a couple weeks ago, that I was actually waiting for it to come in, and I'm really excited to show it off. It's actually a Black Cat number 6. This was actually a Frankie's Comics exclusive because it is actually the virgin cover art to Black Cat number 6. This is amazing. I cannot wait to send this off to have J. Scott Campbell sign it and slab it. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing the Beach Bum, Christmas signing, or, ultimately I'll just end up holding on to it until, New York or something. But definitely, again, we're in November and I'm already putting, books in portfolio boxes for New York Comic Con. So gives you a little bit of a snapshot into how I like to do things. So super excited to have this. This next one I actually got from a YouTube auction. It was actually Thorough Q Burrow. Super shout out to those guys once again. Backstory here. So it's an Amazing Spider-Man 238. I previously had a CGC 7.0. Decided that I would ultimately part with it because I've replaced it with this. This looks super, super clean. I'm really excited to, really send this out. I'm actually going to have it pressed, just in case. I mean, I always feel a little bit better when I do that, but tattoos are intact. Really does look pretty clean. All the colors are there. No real, big dings, ticks, or bends anywhere, but again, better safe than sorry. So super shout out to those guys. Really excited to see where that one comes in. And these next two books I actually got from Instagram. So shout out to Shortboxed. They have a page that they sell a lot of their product on. I think it's Shortboxed Shop on Instagram. I'll actually throw the tag probably right over here. But I actually got Amazing Spider-Man #1, the newest volume. This was actually the 1 in 50 variant. This was actually done by Jerome Opena. So super excited to have that. And then I also picked up the 1 in 100 ratio variant. This was actually a John Romita cover swipe. This was a hidden gem incentive variant. So really excited to ultimately add this into the collection. And again, keep that completionist vibe going. And then my last book, guys, actually came into the cave today. I actually won this on, again, another YouTube auction. So really, excited to show it off. I actually owned this book previously. Mine was actually signed by Terry Dodson, had a yellow label, and was also a 9.6. So this next book is actually Avenging Spider-Man #9 in a 9.6. Your first appearance of Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. If Terry's in New York, come 2020, I am definitely going to pop this and have him sign it, probably press it previous to. But I love this book. I mean, again, I know the hype on it has kind of died down a little bit. But, again, I love the cover art on it. I love the artist. I love everything that he does. And, again, it's just a nice book to have into, the collection and really be able to display it. So, well, there you go, guys. That's the haul for the past 2 weeks. A couple things to note. I'm actually going to be putting a video together for my 100 subscriber giveaway. I've been talking about it. Finally pulled some books together that I'll end up showing off. Certainly will give instructions on how I'm going to frame it up and all those different things. Again, really want to thank all you guys for always taking the time out to watch and comment and all of those different things. Really excited to put this together. I think I have some pretty good books that again you're gonna want at the end of the day. So thanks again, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Really thankful for all of you. I hope you have a fantastic holiday, and you're with friends and family, and you're really able to enjoy it all. So without further ado, this is your boy Dave in the Cave officially signing out. Peace.